Hello everyone, it's Tuesday, September 8th, right after Labor Day. Welcome, this is Blissful Warrior Yoga. I'm Rhonda Uretsky. I am the owner of River Flow Yoga. We are a hot yoga studio located in Lambertville, New Jersey. We are just beginning to open our physical location very carefully and very gently. We are having very small one-on-one teacher to student, one teacher to one student, what we call guru hot yoga classes. That is actually the traditional way that yoga has been passed down. One teacher to one student. If you're interested in that, please comment and welcome to that. If you'd like to continue to join us here on our Facebook Live page, we're going to continue to offer the virtual practices of hot yoga, yoga nidra, and Blissful Warrior Yoga that we have been doing here since March, since the physical studio was closed. And I have to tell you that today is going to be a class that is here for you, as always, but really as always, here for the teachers who teach these classes. I have a good friend, her name is Mary Cordelia, and she likes to say that you don't really have a bad day or a bad week or even a bad morning. Sometimes you have a bad moment that you just expand outward. And I have absolutely had that experience this morning. I noticed, and one of the things about being really involved with yoga, as I have been for the past 45 years of my life, is that you begin to notice, you begin to have an awareness of the way you're reacting to things. And in that awareness, you have a certain ability and an empowerment to bring yourself back to a state where you feel more like yourself, calmer perhaps, more in control of your reactions. And I definitely noticed this morning, and on the other hand, on the other flip side of that, if you don't notice, then one small event, one small moment of reactivity can snowball very, very quickly into an entire morning or an entire day where you just end up at the end of the day saying, I had a bad day. But I don't think you have to suffer through an entire bad day if you can catch yourself and notice that the way you're reacting or the way you're feeling is not in line with the way you'd prefer to react and feel. And so today's Blissful Warrior Yoga session is for me as much as it is for you. I absolutely had one bad moment this morning, or one moment that I was not perceiving as a good moment, that I noticed snowballing. I even stopped at one point and gave myself permission and time to calm and meditate and sit with a cup of coffee, and then I jumped right back in to having these really kind of snarky, upset feelings. And so in today's Blissful Warrior Yoga session, I'm certainly going to really live my truth and use this Blissful Warrior Yoga session to see if I can retain that level of control that I would really like to have. And so the rest of my day doesn't have to be an extension of the one incident this morning that seemed to trigger and take over. Although, things never actually take over. We give them permission. We give these things permission to sort of infiltrate the way we react and the way we respond. And yet, I would like you to notice that if that has ever happened to you, who hasn't it happened to, let yourself off the hook. Right? Try not to feel badly about it. It is a sort of natural way that things happen. Even your brain is wired to continue to travel down familiar pathways. So if you have a habit of reactivity, even if you have a habitual belief that bad things come in threes, or it's going to be a bad day, or whatever it is that you believe about the way conditions can control you, just let yourself off the hook. It's an old belief. It doesn't really make you happy. It certainly didn't make me happy this morning. And so here we are in the middle of the day, having a chance to really experience what it can be like to start off on a bad note or get off on the wrong foot or the wrong side of the bed, all these expressions we have for feeling badly about conditions outside of ourselves. And to see if in fact it is possible to bring yourself back to the person that you want to feel like and have the rest of the day be in line with what you prefer and not feel like conditions outside of you are in control of the way you react or the way you feel. I know that a lot of people, and I absolutely have my moments as well, are feeling a lot of fear right now, a lot of stress and anxiety, more so than usual. And I say that because prior to this pandemic, as the owner of the yoga studio, I heard many of my students, I would say most of my students, who would come for yoga as a respite from their stressful, overwhelmed, overworked lives. And then since this pandemic, since March, everything has been stepped up at least 10 degrees, maybe even 100 degrees. There just doesn't seem to be a topic outside of ourselves or a condition that warrants some, or doesn't warrant some level of fear or anxiety or stress or worry. So once again, if you're feeling any of those things, really let yourself off the hook, just as I'm going to do right now. Certainly the thing that I rubbed up against this morning was not the fault of the people that I interacted with. And my reaction to it was not the fault of the situation or condition. My reaction was simply my reaction. And I noticed it. I can look back on it and notice it now. And now I can make a different choice. Do I really want to go into the rest of my day carrying forth this level of activation? Or is it possible to take this time here and be a blissful warrior? That's what a blissful warrior really is all about. It's about being a warrior, about your decision to be blissful, or some level on that scale of bliss. I don't expect myself to be able to jump from where I was in this moment of activation to completely blissed out. But I do know that I'd rather be above the median line, right? There's a medium line, let's say, of contentment or satisfaction or calm. And then there are all sorts of feelings below that line, all the way down to despair and hopelessness and depression. And then above that median line, right, that line of contentment, there might be optimism, hopefulness, happiness, joy, bliss. There might be many, many, many steps. And I am in this moment saying that I would prefer to be at least at the median line and climbing. And I notice that in my interaction this morning, I was below that median line. I found myself in frustration and anger and a little bit of hopelessness and worry. And so can you, can I, can any of us notice where we are in the moment and decide that we'd rather be in a place that feels better, despite the outside conditions? Well, let's try. If you are joining this Blissful Warrior yoga session in any state at all, let's see if it is possible to take a few steps, one step even, in a direction of feeling a little bit better. You know, when you're soothed, when you're feeling a little bit calmer, it's actually true that your brain chemistry works differently. You are able to not only handle outside conditions better, but you're able to come from a place where the actions that you take will generally produce the results that you want. Whereas the same action taken from a place of despair is usually going to throw you deeper into despair, no matter what the action is. So it always pays. It's always the best first step to bring yourself back to feeling like yourself. So in this moment, as we begin this practice, I'd like you to notice where you are on this emotional scale. And maybe there are adjectives that come to mind. I would say that right now I'm in hopefulness. I've already moved up just in talking to you about this and in noticing where I am. I've already moved up from frustration and anger to hopefulness. that median line yet of contentment and satisfaction, but hopefulness, and that feels better. So maybe there's an adjective that comes to mind for you for how you are feeling right now, where you are in this moment. Sometimes it's easier to give yourself a number from 1 to 10. Let's say 1 is despair and depression and hopelessness, and 10 is bliss. So on that scale of 1 to 10, what number might you give yourself right now? I would say 3 for me. Right now I'm at about a 3. So is it possible to bring yourself higher? Are you really in control of the way you react and the way you respond, no matter what the conditions are outside of you? Let's experiment and find out. Despite my 45 years of practicing and teaching yoga and teaching other people to become yoga teachers, mentoring people and leading yoga retreats, and all of my involvement with yoga and mindfulness and meditation, I have to say that you are the master of you. I'm going to share with you this process that I'm going to do for you here in real time to raise my own vibration to a place that I'd like to go forth into the rest of my day with. And then you get to experience it for yourself. I can't guarantee you what you're going to feel. I can share with you these practices that I have curated, and I can ask you to feel it for yourself. So, at scale of 1 to 10, just let a number come to mind for where you might be feeling right now. And just say this little sentence to yourself about where you are. Okay, I got it. I am where I am. There isn't any reason for me to feel badly about it, to have any shame about it, to have any self-recrimination about it. I am where I am, and this is my starting point. So I am where I am, in a little bit of hopefulness and about a number 3 on that scale of feeling activated. Actually, I just realized I did it wrong. 3 would be on the, well, let's say 1, let's turn this around, and let's say 1 is extremely despairing, and 10 is blissfulness. I usually do it the other way around, but it does make sense that the higher numbers would have sort of a higher energy to them. So I'm at about a 3. Notice where you are. You are where you are. Let's see from this starting point if you really do have the power to raise your own vibrational level to something that you prefer to live the rest of your day in. So I'm going to start by drinking water. It's one of the easiest ways that I have found to self-soothe. Maybe it's because your physical body, your physical makeup is mostly water, and adding more water to that really helps to keep this flow of water going throughout your physical body. But for whatever reason, water does seem to be universally soothing to the human body. So if you don't have any water beside you right now, take the time to go and grab some, and let's drink some water together, shall we? You know, I'm accustomed to drinking half my body weight in ounces of water every day. It's something one of my naturopath friends told me years and years ago, and as I tried it for myself, I found that it really did make a difference in my energy levels and how soothed I felt during the day. So when I sip water, you might notice it looks more like chugging water. You can do whatever feels right for you. Actually notice in the drinking of the water, I already feel a little more soothed. A little more, my friends, is all you're going for here. There's no big goal out there on the horizon that we're aiming for. It's this present moment, feeling a little more soothed in this present moment than you might have a moment ago. All we really have is the present moment, right? The past is gone. No matter how much we like to say, I had a bad morning, and then dwell in that morning, it's not here anymore. It doesn't really need to have any hold on you. And the future never arrives, because once it does, it's the present moment. So let's be in this present moment fully and see if it's true that in this present moment you have a choice. You have a choice to choose how you're going to feel about whatever it is that the conditions might be around you. So let's have a seat. If you'd like to sit on the floor, go ahead. I love sitting on the floor, and I love the cross-legged position with a cushion under me, so I'm sitting more forward of the cushion than in the center. If you try it, you might notice that what I really love about it is that it tends to relax the hips and relax the knees. So the hips and the knees tend to tilt down a little bit, and in that tilting there is a sense of letting go, a soothing feeling. Really lovely. If you would like to sit on a chair, if sitting on the floor isn't your cup of tea, don't force yourself. Go ahead and sit in a chair. Placing both feet on the ground when you sit in a chair will be very calming to your nervous system. So go ahead and try that. Or you might like to lie down. If you are, lie down on your back. Bring your arms far from your body and let your palms face up. You know, when I do that, I like to imagine that I have little, maybe balls of light in the centers of my palms. I can feel the weight of it. I can feel the warmth, the temperature of it. I can even feel the texture of it. And in bringing my attention to that soothing feeling in the center of my palms, I begin to notice the soothing that goes through my emotional state. If you're lying on the ground, your legs are out in front of you. Let your heels lightly touch and your toes flop apart. And keep your eyes open with your chin tucked. And if you're sitting, let your eyes focus on something in front of you. And look at that something out of the tops of your eyes more so than the centers of your eyes. Here's what happens when you look at the centers of your eyes. We all tend to do it. A little bit of a chin thrust. Can be a lot of a chin thrust that we all have a habit of doing. It tends to create stress and strain in the neck. And you know, when your physical body is stressed, your emotional body is stressed as well. So in this way, aligning the physical body will only help to bring you into that soothing place where you can really imagine your vibrational level and feel your own vibrational level rising to a place of feeling a little bit better. So if you just simply tuck your chin, imagine that you're taking your head and placing it back on your neck. You know, if your chin is thrusting and your head was forward of your neck, you can push your head back a little bit, keep your eyes up a little bit, so you're again looking more out of the tops of your eyes than the centers, and you'll avoid that chin thrust. Okay, here we are. Now we're going to move into some deep breathing. Breathing in and out through the nose and hearing the sound in the back of your throat. Big ha sound coming in, big ha sound coming out. Keeping your mouth closed, and as you breathe, I'm going to give you some little directions for what to do with your body to accommodate this nice, soothing, deeply felt breath. Find a position for your hands. If you're sitting in a chair, you might try palms down on your thighs. If you're sitting on the ground, you might try palms down on your knees or backs of your hands on your knees, or you could try palms in your lap, palms facing up. Okay, I'm in this experiment with you, moving up the emotional scale, really being able to leave the past of my morning conditions where they belong, back in the morning that is gone, with the whole day ahead of me and my ability to choose how I prefer the rest of the day to unfold. Let's begin. Inhale, nice deep breath in through your nose. Hear it resounding in the back of your throat. On that first inhale, something cracked in my back. Balloon your belly out. Feel your rib cage expand. Pull your collarbones wide apart. So in this way, the breath begins like a three-part breath, filling your belly, filling your ribs, filling your chest, keeping your collarbones pulled wide apart so that you can feel this beautiful stretch across your chest, holding here, and exhale. Hearing the sound in the back of your throat, keep your collarbones pulled wide as your ribs come together, your belly empties, and drop your tailbone down to the ground and tuck it up towards your navel. Notice if you're sitting in a chair or sitting on the ground, this little tuck of the tailbone will make you feel like you've sort of lifted up a little bit, hovering over the floor or chair. Inhale. Fill your belly. Expand your rib cage. Pull your collarbones wide. Keep your eyes focused, looking out of the tops of your eyes. Relax your hands. Exhale. Feel your ribs come together, your belly empty. Keep the collarbones pulling side to side. Drop your tailbone. Tuck it up towards your navel. Stay empty for a moment. Notice the soothing feeling of just being empty. Almost begins to feel like you're swooning a little bit. Inhale. Fill your belly. Widen your rib cage. Pull your collarbone side to side. Drop your chin, staying here in the fullness. Exhale. Deflate your belly. Let your ribs come together, still keeping the collarbones wide so no hunching of the shoulders. Tailbone dropped, and then tucked towards your navel. 3 more. Inhale. Holding here, noticing how it feels sort of empowering, confidence, feels open to stay holding your breath with your collarbones wide. Exhale. Feeling your rib cage come towards the center of your body from side to side, dropping, emptying your belly and dropping your tailbone. Tuck it under towards your navel. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keep making that ocean sound at the back of your throat. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Let's drink some more water now. 6 deep breaths, lots of little nuanced movements of the body, and a little more water. All right, checking in again on that scale of 1 to 10. I think I feel more like a 4. Things just feel a little calmer and more soothed. You know, it occurs to me that a lot of our stress and anxiety and worry comes from not knowing what's going to happen in the future and feeling as if we need to get in there and control it. And planning can absolutely be soothing. Having a plan for how you'd like things to turn out or work out for you can give you a little bit of a guiding light. But it's also true, at least it is for me, that holding too tightly to that plan and trying to bang it into place can actually create more stress and more anxiety, when in fact there might be solutions available to us that we are not aware of in the present moment. So a really healthy combination of having a plan and being prepared to let go of that plan, maybe having the soothed feeling that there might actually be a better plan, that there might be something better in the works for us, that we can remain open to things changing in a way that will actually work out better than we planned, can not only be a very soothing thought, but I believe that most of us can look back at something in our lives that did work out better than we thought, or better than we planned. You know, maybe there was a job that you really wanted and didn't get, and really were upset over, and then the job that did come through for you turned out to be so much better. Or a house you wanted to buy. You know, so many friends of mine have told me that they put bid after bid on houses that fell through, or something didn't work out and they were crushed, really crestfallen and heartbroken. And then later on, when the house that they did purchase came to them, it was so much better in so many ways than the houses that they supposedly lost. The same can be true in relationships. The same can be true in any purchases of any kind. Things that you think are the things that you want and don't work out often get replaced by things that are absolutely better than you had initially chosen. So we do all have some level of experience with this truth. And yet it remains something that can be hard to remember when we lose something that we really thought we wanted, or when a plan doesn't work out, or a plan doesn't materialize, that we can actually chart the steps to getting a result that we want. But what if things are working out better than you could ever have planned? If you could simply entertain that idea and sit and breathe with it for a moment, you can ask yourself, is it possible? Is it possible that things are working out better than I can imagine? If you can entertain the possibility of it, you can slip into the soothing feeling of it. So for a moment, let's do that. What if things are actually working out for the best? For you, and maybe even for everyone you love, and maybe even for everyone in general. What if that could be true? Inhale. And exhale. And ask yourself this. In this moment, even if you don't completely believe that idea, is it a better feeling thought than that everything is crashing and everything is coming to an end and that everything is working against you? Which thought feels better? If you are in this blissful warrior practice looking for a place of soothing, you choose the better feeling thought. And maybe for now, just breathing deep is the better feeling thought. Inhale. Exhale. All right. So let's see if we can take a little bit of soothing into a little bit of movement. You know, moving your body can be extremely soothing if you do so with awareness and mindfulness and a desire to actually feel soothed. So many of us, and I've noticed this in yoga students as well as other forms of practice of exercise or physical movement, so many people come to the studio, come to their practice or their movement practice with the desire to fix or change something that they perceive to be wrong with their bodies or their physical presence or their energy level. But what if you were in this for the pleasure of it? What if the yoga that we are about to do has no other purpose but to feel enjoyable to you? Might that be a soothing practice? Well, let's try it and find out. So if you've never done yoga before, you're here to soothe. If you've done lots and lots of yoga, like me, over 45 years, every time I return to my yoga practice, whether it's Blissful Warrior or hot yoga, which is a way more challenging type of practice in terms of it being 26 poses in a very hot room, my intention is always to find a place of soothing, a place where I can live my life. Not because we live in the yoga room, we certainly don't. We go out into the world and we want to take this level of soothing out there. And so let's have that intention. As a blissful warrior, you are here to be a warrior, but about one thing only, about feeling soothed, traveling up those little steps on the vibrational scale towards bliss. So let's begin. A few really beautiful poses. If you're sitting on a chair, join us on the ground. If you're lying on the ground, roll over onto your side and push yourself up into a seated position. Let's do some beautiful movement poses combined with breathing. Let's just check in on how it feels. Permission to feel better. Feeling better is the most powerful thing that you can do for yourself in the present moment, which is the only moment where you have your sense of control. I'm going to adjust my camera just a little, and here we are. A little bit more. Okay. So start by sitting cross-legged. Hopefully that feels comfortable to you. We're going to do some forward bends. So bring your right leg out to the side, 45 degrees. If your left leg is bent already, bring the sole of the left foot into the inner right thigh. Now, that might be a little painful on your knee, depends on where you are in the present moment, so you can, adjust so that there's no pain in the knee. With your outstretched right leg, begin to flex the sole of your right foot. Now, maybe your right leg outstretched is straight, and maybe it needs to bend a little bit. We're looking for this soothing place in every pose. Flexing the heel forward, flexing the toes towards your face. Rotate your right knee inward a little bit. Can you feel this little rotation happening in your hip? Keep your hip on the ground. Both hips are stable on the ground. But as that right knee turns in, there's a nice little adjustment that happens from your femur bone, right, this big thigh bone, into your hip. And you feel sort of locked into place. Inhale your arms overhead. Clasp all 10 fingers overhead into a net and begin pulling that net of fingers towards the ceiling. Lock your elbows, seeing if you can squeeze your biceps behind your ears. Now keeping your hips on the ground, lift up out of your waist. Feel the lift. Inhaling. Remembering to keep both hips on the ground so you are grounded as you grow and lift up out of your waist, feeling the flexibility of your spine. It's like a big spring, like a big slinky. Now turn your torso towards your outstretched right leg, looking down at your foot, your right heel's flexed forward, your toes towards your face. Lean back a little, and as you exhale, throw this net of fingers over the ball of your foot. Now you might have to bend your knee to get the net of fingers over the ball of your foot, and then bring your forehead to your knee. And once again, you might have to bend your knee. But let's make the forehead touch the knee, right between the eyebrows. Let your elbows bend and your shoulders slump. Keep both hips on the ground, so maybe you have to wiggle them back down into place. And let's take those deep breaths right here. Tuck your chin into your throat, forehead to knee. Inhale. And exhale. Let your elbows bend more. Feel like they're hugging your calf muscle as they bend towards the ground. The shoulders slump. The middle back rounds. Let go. Inhale. And exhale. And then release the pose. Pull forward a little bit, pulling the net far from the ball of the foot and reaching back up to the ceiling. As you keep it slow, you imagine this slinky in your spine and every coil resting on top of the one below. As you bring yourself back into adjustment, come towards the center again. And here in center, alternate the legs. Bring the left leg out 45 degrees. Bend the right knee and place the sole of the right foot up against the inner left thigh if placing it there feels okay to your knee. It could be that the foot is going to be a little further from your the thigh, or it could be against the knee, wherever it needs to be for you to not feel any pain in that right knee. Now, I'm going to emphasize that there's no room for pain in this Blissful Warrior practice. There's no soothing in pain, and I promise you there's no rewards in it either. You're here for the soothing and the empowerment that comes from knowing and feeling that you can soothe yourself back into your place of empowerment. So stretch. Pull from the net of fingers up to the ceiling. Squeeze your biceps behind your ears. Lift up out of your waist and begin to connect with this feeling of springiness in your spine. Keeping both hips on the ground, stretching and lifting, lengthening your waist. Turn towards your outstretched left leg and flex the sole, the heel of your left foot forward and the toes towards your face, and rotate that left knee in. So again, feel this lining up of your femur bone into your hip. Lean backwards a little bit, and as you exhale the breath, let's throw the net of fingers over the ball of the left foot. I'm going to move into frame a little more. You guys are good just where you are. Stretch, turn, and throw the net. Now, in order to get the net of fingers on the ball of the foot, you might have to bend the knee. So that's fine. Go ahead and do it. Drop your forehead to the knee. And again, if you have to bend the knee to make the forehead connect with the knee, that's fine. Hold tight with the fingers and let the elbows start to bend. Shoulders begin to shrug. Keep your stomach sucked in. Forehead to knee. Let's just breathe here. If you keep tucking your chin into that little hollow space between the collarbones, you're going to feel your neck let go in a way that it hasn't, maybe in a long time, or maybe just since the activation of the morning. Let go and breathe. Inhale. And exhale. Bend the elbows more. Keep both hips on the ground, so wiggle them around till they're both grounded. Letting the elbow tips come in close to the calf muscle. And relax. Keep breathing. Notice that the longer you stay here in this pose and surrender to it, the more relaxed you feel. Your body and even your emotional state just feels like you're in a place of being soothed. And releasing the pose, pull forward from the net of fingers. Keep that heel flexed forward, the toes flexed towards your face as you come up, stacking your slinky. Turn towards the center again and lift up. Feel like sighing. It feels really wonderful. And hopefully it does to you too. And if you are not here trying to fix something or change something about your body, not feeling like there's something wrong with you, you're going to connect to that place where you know that everything is right with you. Keeping your arms overhead, bring both legs out in front of you. Flexing the heels forward and the toes towards your face, rotate your knees inward towards the center line of your body. Keep both hips grounded. Remember how in the beginning of class you were looking at something out of the tops of your eyes right there in front of you? Let's do that now. Keep your gaze soft as you inhale, lift up. Feel your arms grow longer as you feel your biceps squeeze your head behind your ears. Growing up out of your waist, feeling your slinky lengthen. Lean back a little bit. And as you exhale, suck your stomach in and come forward. And let's disconnect the net of fingers and just take your first two fingers and hook them between your first two toes. Hold on tight. And again, looking at that object in front of you out of the tops of your eyes, let's walk backwards. So walking on your hips, ending up further back on your mat or your floor. Keep your gaze steady in front of you, chin down, looking out the tops of your eyes. As you inhale, flex your heels forward and your pinky toes towards your face. Now, in doing this, you might notice that you need to bend your knees a little bit. If your hamstrings bother you, remember there are no rewards here in pain, and you're not going to push through any pain. You are here to find your empowerment in being able to soothe yourself. And as you soothe your body, you are soothing your emotional system, your nervous system, feeling like yourself again. Flex your heels, pinky toes towards the face. Inhale, lift your chest. Drop your chin. Pull your collarbones wide apart. Now as you exhale, begin to flatten the backs of your knees to the mat. It's as easy as just suggesting it to yourself. On every exhale, you can just repeat to yourself, relax my knees, relax my knees. Eventually they will. Eventually it doesn't have to be today. For today, you are who you are, and you're in the exact right place. Once your legs are straight, you can go a little bit deeper. Now, deeper doesn't mean better. It just means exploring a deeper place from where you are right now. Inhale, lift your chest. Drop your chin. Collarbones wide. As you exhale, flatten the backs of your knees. Relax my knees. Relax my knees. If your legs are totally straight, your heels will be hovering, and that's when you can bend your elbow tips. Drop them down beside your calf muscle. Thumbs up, and guide your chin to your thumbs and your chest forward between your shoulders. Inhale, lift your chest, collarbones wide, and exhale, relax your knees, relax your knees. If your heels are hovering, just begin guiding your chest forward, your chin towards your thumbs, your upper body lying down on your thighs. And then releasing the pose, place your palms on the tops of your feet and slide your hands over your ankles, onto your shins. Keep them on your shins as you lock your elbows, locking your arms. Flex your heels, flex your toes towards your face. Sitting on both hips, checking that they're both down. And breathe right here. Inhale, hearing it in the back of your throat. And exhale. Letting your ribs come together, keeping your collarbones wide. Empty your belly like a balloon that deflates. Let your tailbone drop down and then tuck your tailbone up a little towards your knee. scale of 1 to 10, I am absolutely at a 5. That really nice baseline of feeling contented. Ardha Matsyendrasana, half spinal twist. Again, facing forward. Bend your left knee so it points forward. Now, always noticing if bending the knee causes any pain. Now, there's a difference between stretch and pain. You'll know it immediately. Pain is unmistakable. So if what you're feeling is pain, you can keep your left leg stretched straight out. Otherwise, the knee is bent. The right leg comes up and over so that the heel is against the knee corner. Now you're taking a moment to ground both hips. Could be that you're sitting on your heel. Not unusual, but here you're going to really get both hips to feel like your base. Notice this beautiful pyramid shape your body forms, and you feel the empowerment of it. Like there's something emotionally soothing about these poses. Bring your right arm behind you and lock it. Palm on the ground, fingers facing away from you, and keep that arm feeling like the kickstand that it is. Left arm up by your ear. Keep it close to your head as you stretch. Both arms locked as you reach. Up out of your waist as you pull. Keep those hips down. Now bend the left elbow and come down around the knee. And use the elbow to push the knee back. Notice how when I'm pushing my knee back, the knee and the ankle begin to form more of a straight line. Check that the right hip is still down. All these little nuances that you're doing not only align the body, they soothe your nervous system. Now bring your hand down, and if you're sitting on a yoga mat, grab the top edge with your palm. If you're not, place your fingertips on the ground and lock your arm. And you can also slip your hand under your bent knee. Just keep both arms locked solid. And as you inhale, lift your chest. Draw your collarbones wide apart so you feel that right shoulder starting to come way behind you. Both hips are down, and as you exhale, drop your chin, look over your right shoulder, and begin to twist. Move your waist. Twist, move your ribs. Twist, move your shoulders. Drop your chin and twist, look over your right shoulder, and keep your eyes moving, looking for the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. This is your gentle plan. Just gently keep looking for the next thing. Just notice how your body goes with it. And change. Come back to center. Let's alternate. So bending the right knee. Again, checking to see if there's pain. There's no need for pain at all. Keep the right leg straight out in front if that knee feels painful. Left leg up and over so the left heel touches the right knee corner. And this is going to be true. If the knee is bent, you might feel that this hip is up in the air. So move it away and settle down. Both hips are your baseline. Your body is in this beautiful, stable pyramid shape. And if you take a moment to breathe right here, feel the emotional stability. These poses are fabulous for the body, and there's something deeper. Your soothing emotional stability. Bring your left arm behind you. Make it a kickstand, away from your body, locked out with your fingertips facing away from you. Right arm up. Keep both hips down as you reach up. Palm facing towards your head, and you're growing your waistline. Engaging the slinky in your spine, lifting up. Stretching up, feeling the freedom of it. Bend the elbow, come down around the knee, and push the knee away, and reach your hand down. Again, you can grab the top edge of your mat in your palm. You can place your fingertips on the mat, lock your arm, and slip your hand under your knee. Inhale, lift your chest. Suck your stomach in. Lock both arms. As you exhale, dropping your chin, begin to look over your left shoulder. Move your waist. Both hips are down. Move your ribs. Both hips are down. Move your shoulders. Right shoulder forward, left shoulder back. Drop your chin, look over your shoulder, and look for the very next thing, or whatever it is you're looking at as you twist, twist, twist. And then release. Come back to center. Bring both legs out in front of you. Flex your heels forward, flex your toes towards your face, place your palms on your shins, drop your chin, fix your gaze, something in front of you. I'm looking straight at this beautiful green wall, just softening my gaze. Elbows locked, collarbones wide. Feel the stability in your body and the soft soothing in your emotional system, your nervous system. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Flex your heels forward, flex the toes towards your face, rotate your knees inward, and as you exhale, slide your palms over your knees, lean back into your hips. Just keep sliding down one vertebra at a time. Your palms come over your knees and start up your thighs as you feel every vertebra come down to the ground. And now final Shavasana. So I'm going to take this final Shavasana with you. Lying down on the ground. Arms at your sides, and slide your arms rather far from your body. Palms facing up. See if you can imagine those balls of light centered in your palms. Feel the weight of them, the gentle pressure, the temperature, the texture, as you let your fingers naturally curl around them. Heels lightly touching and toes flopped apart. Pull your collarbones wide so both shoulder blades are on the mat. Settling down. Keep your eyes open and look down the middle of your body rather than at your ceiling. Keeping your neck beautifully flexed. Rib cage down. Inhale, balloon your belly out. Collarbones wide, chin down. Hold. And exhale. Keeping the collarbones wide, letting your ribs come in towards the midline of your body. Dropping your belly. And feeling like there's a hand that slips under the small of your back and you're dropping into it. Staying empty. Inhale. And exhale. Stay empty. Clearing out. Feeling the sense of clearing out any old resistance. Inhale. And exhale. And now inhale, bring your legs together, bend both knees. Soles of the feet to the ground. Walk your heels nice and close to your butt. Bring your arms in, bend your elbow tips, and bring your hands into prayer position in front of your chest. Tucking the chin. Pull your elbows down towards your hips. Feel your shoulders come away from your ears. And as you exhale, bring your knees to your chest. Squeeze your legs tight and roll your body to the right. Keeping it slow and gentle. And then take your prayer hands and bring them under the cheek. Tucking your chin to your throat, bring your left elbow tip over your body to the ground. And pull into your center. Bring your chin way into your throat, knees to the chest, elbows in towards your belly, and breathe. Inhale. third inhale, turn your palms to the ground, open your eyes, look at the backs of your palms, and press yourself back up and come to a seated position. Let's grab for that water again here at the end of practice. Take it with a few sips. And gently bringing this practice to a close and the rest of your day to an opening. So if you've been here with me for the hour, you notice that we started by checking in on that scale of 1 to 10. 1, the emotional scale. It's 1 being, kind of flipped the scale today, right? So 1 being more in a state of despair or despondency or depression, and 10 being really blissful. So I started this class at a 2 or 3. I now feel more at a 4, 5, maybe even a 6. 5 is sort of that middle ground, that place of contentment and satisfaction. And wherever you're starting is your jumping off place. So notice where you might be right now. And notice, if you will, that in the hour that we've been together, the chances are that conditions around you have not necessarily changed. Conditions outside of you in the world or in your immediate world. You have not necessarily affected a change in those conditions, but you have affected a change in the way that you feel. And then you can go out into the world and bring this solution forward. And my friends, that is a wonderful starting place. Thank you for joining me today in this Blissful Warrior yoga practice. It certainly was what I needed today, and I have to tell you that I look forward to doing this every weekday at 12:30. No matter where I am on the emotional scale, this practice always seems to put me back into a place where I know that I'm in control of my reactions to conditions around me. And that is a really empowered place to start. And that's another thing about being a blissful warrior. You become a warrior about your own belief in your own sense of empowerment and your own ability to feel blissful. So hopefully that's what you've gotten today. I'm Rhonda Uretsky, the owner of River Flow Yoga. As I mentioned, we are starting to open our physical doors here in Lambertville, New Jersey, and we are opening to one-on-one guru hot yoga practice. You and a teacher one-on-one, really addressing and focusing on what you need in the present moment, physically, emotionally, looking for the soothing and the strength and the sense of self-empowerment that we know, myself and all the teachers at River Flow, we know that this practice can give you. So if you're interested in becoming one of our guru students at the studio, you can feel free to comment here or private message me. We can see if there's a spot for you. And if you'd like to continue to join us, we are going to be here online on our Facebook page offering you yoga practices for the foreseeable future. Guru yoga, one-on-one, you and a teacher, virtual yoga that you can tune into anytime. Feel free to line up with the practice that feels right for you. And notice that we do call this a practice. You're not here to perfect anything. You are here to live in the present moment and to practice the joy of it. Thank you for sharing my practice with me today. I'll be here again tomorrow. This is Tuesday, so tonight we have 2 beautiful classes. We have hot yoga at 5:30, 6 o'clock, I believe. That is 1 hour, 26 poses, really done in a beautiful, soothing way. And then we have Yoga Nidra at 9 o'clock. Here to guide you into a restful sleep, a half an hour of guided yoga, meditation, and progressive relaxation. So come here and join us. Choose the practice that resonates for you in the moment, and we hope to see you again soon. I'm Rhonda Uretsky from River Flow Yoga. Thank you for joining me in this practice today and sharing this moving up that vibrational scale. Go out into the rest of your day feeling safe and sane and soothed. See you soon.